Now to Los Angeles, where tonight they are investigating one of the biggest cash heists in LA history.
It's a record-breaking heist.
$30 million
in cash money.
$30 million vanished from a secure Garda World facility in Los Angeles. The thieves didn't use explosives, take hostages, or leave fingerprints. They simply walked in, emptied the vault, and disappeared without a trace. In 2023, how could this happen? What does it reveal about our security systems? Could it happen again? We're going to examine this baffling heist step by step, uncovering the vulnerabilities that made it possible. By the end of this video, you'll see bank vaults in a whole new light. This case raises serious questions about the safety of our financial institutions. As we dive into the details, you'll discover just how fragile our perception of security really is. Get ready for a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about high-stakes robberies and the systems designed to prevent them. The unassuming target. Picture this, a nondescript industrial building in the quiet suburb of Silmar, Los Angeles. It's the kind of place you'd drive past without a second glance, but behind its unremarkable facade lies a secret that would make any thief's heart race. Millions upon millions in cold, hard cash. This is the Garda World facility, a fortress disguised as just another warehouse. In our increasingly digital world, cash still reigns supreme in many corners. These cash storage facilities act as the beating heart of our financial system, supplying ATMs, banks, and businesses with the physical currency that keeps our economy flowing. The concept of security through obscurity is at play here. The idea is simple. If no one knows you're housing millions in cash, you're less likely to be a target. It's like hiding your valuables in a beat-up old shoebox instead of a shiny safe. But don't be fooled by appearances. Beneath that unassuming exterior lies a web of sophisticated security measures. Yet, here's where things get interesting. Despite all these precautions, there's an inherent vulnerability in this setup. The very ordinariness that's meant to protect this facility can also work against it. After all, who's going to notice a few extra vehicles or some maintenance work on a boring industrial building? And that's exactly what our mystery thieves exploited. They didn't just crack a safe, they penetrated layers upon layers of security, slipping through the cracks of a system designed to be impenetrable. When the dust settled and the alarms finally rang, the horrifying truth emerged. $30 million in cash had vanished into thin air. Let that sink in for a moment. $30 million gone. It's the scale of the theft that's staggering, and the sheer audacity of it. In an age of cybercrime and digital heists, these thieves pulled off an old-school cash grab of epic proportions. But here's the question on everyone's mind. How did they even know about this place? In a world where secrecy is the first line of defense, how did these criminals pierce the veil of anonymity surrounding the Garda World facility? To answer that, we need to dive deeper into the shadows, where insider knowledge and meticulous planning collide with opportunity. And what we're about to uncover will challenge everything you thought you knew about modern security. A timeline of deception. You might think you know how a typical heist unfolds, but the Los Angeles vault robbery challenges everything we thought we knew about high-stakes crimes. Let's rewind the clock and walk through a timeline that will leave you questioning the very nature of daring heists. It all started on Easter Sunday, a day when most Los Angeles was busy with family gatherings and egg hunts. The streets were quiet, businesses closed, and security guards perhaps a little more relaxed than usual. Perfect conditions for an audacious plan. At 11:30 p.m. on March 30th, the first alarm sounded at the Garda World facility. Police responded promptly, arriving at the scene within minutes. They conducted a sweep of the premises, but found nothing out of the ordinary. The building was secure, with no signs of forced entry. They attributed it to a technical glitch, and left. Over the next few hours, more alarms were triggered. Each time the police responded, and each time they found nothing amiss. This pattern of false alarms created the perfect smokescreen, keeping all eyes looking in the wrong direction. As the night wore on, our mystery thieves were likely already inside the building, working methodically to access the vault. The truly staggering part? The theft wasn't discovered until Monday morning, when employees arrived at work. This means the criminals potentially had a window of several hours to complete their operation. Think about that for a moment. While most of us were sleeping off our Easter dinners, these thieves were orchestrating one of the most daring heists in recent history. They weren't racing against time, they had manipulated time to work for them. This extended timeline raises so many questions. How did they manage to stay undetected for so long? What kind of equipment did they use? And perhaps most importantly, how did they transport $30 million in cash without raising suspicion? As we peel back the layers of this criminal masterpiece, one thing becomes clear. This was no ordinary robbery. These thieves didn't just rob a vault, they redefined what we thought possible in high-stakes heists. But here's the real kicker. Despite having hours to work and seeing off multiple alarms, these phantom thieves managed to pull off their plan without leaving a single trace. No broken windows, no forced doors, not even a single security camera caught a glimpse of them. It's as if they were ghosts, slipping in and out of reality at will. So the question now is, how on earth did they do it? The art of invisibility. Think you know how to spot a break-in? The Gardaworld heist challenges everything we thought we knew about security breaches. These thieves didn't just bypass security, they manipulated it to their advantage. Let's uncover the unique tools and techniques that made this heist a masterclass in criminal invisibility. The thieves' point of entry was the roof, a stroke of genius that allowed them to avoid ground-level sensors. But that was just the beginning. Remember those Wi-Fi outages reported by nearby businesses during the heist? Experts believe the thieves used signal jammers to disable security cameras and communication systems, creating a digital blind spot. Now, picture yourself standing in front of a state-of-the-art vault, knowing that one wrong move could trigger a silent alarm. Yet these thieves access the vault with surgical precision, leaving no signs of forced entry. What tools made this possible? We're likely talking about custom-made equipment designed specifically for this job. Lockpicking sets so advanced that they can open high-security locks in seconds. Thermal imaging devices to detect hidden sensors, maybe even technology to clone security passes or manipulate digital locks. But here's what sets the Gardaworld heist apart. The sheer audacity of walking into a secure facility in the middle of a major city and walking out with $30 million without leaving a trace. No broken locks, no damaged walls, not even a single fingerprint. It's as if the money simply vanished into thin air. The level of planning, the technical expertise, the flawless execution, all of this points to one inescapable conclusion. We're dealing with a highly organized, professionally trained team with insider knowledge and cutting-edge technology at their disposal. And that realization, it's about to blow this investigation wide open. The Insider Edge. The $30 million heist at Gardaworld wasn't just a test of physical security, it was a stark reminder of the human element in high-stakes crime. Let's dig deeper into the insider angle that's got investigators burning the midnight oil. Who has the keys to the kingdom in a place like Gardaworld? It's a select group. Employees, security personnel, and a handful of trusted contractors. These are people who know the facility's rhythms, its vulnerabilities, and its secrets. They're the ones who could tell you where the cameras have blind spots, or when the guard rotation leaves a momentary gap. This insider knowledge is the golden ticket for would-be thieves. It's not about brute force or high-tech gadgetry, it's about exploiting the human connections and insider information that can make an impenetrable fortress suddenly vulnerable. Remember the 2012 Gardaworld robbery in Riviera Beach, Florida? An employee was the linchpin in that operation, providing the crucial details that allowed the robbers to execute their plan with chilling precision. It's a playbook that's been used time and time again in major heists. But here's the challenge for investigators. How do you spot the insider when they're wearing the same uniform as everyone else? These aren't outsiders sneaking in, they're people with legitimate reasons to be there, to access sensitive areas, to know the ins and outs of the operation. The investigation is now a delicate dance of combing through employee records, scrutinizing access logs, and piecing together the facility's operations leading up to the heist. Every interaction, every anomaly, could be the thread that unravels the whole scheme. And the web of potential insider involvement stretches further than you might think. Could a former employee have been approached? Someone with knowledge but no longer direct access? Or was there coercion involved, forcing someone's hand? As the investigation unfolds, it's becoming clear that this heist represents a perfect storm of insider knowledge and criminal expertise. The thieves didn't just waltz in and get lucky, they had a roadmap, likely provided by someone on the inside. The question now is, how long were these criminals lurking in the shadows, meticulously crafting their plan, and more importantly, can investigators unravel this web of insider connections before the trail goes cold? The perfect storm. As we dive into the unique set of conditions surrounding the Garda-World heist, it's clear that a confluence of factors created a vulnerability so rare it might never happen again. The Easter Sunday timing and security complacency certainly played their parts, but there's more to this story. The COVID-19 pandemic reshaped the landscape of cash management in ways no one could have predicted, with cash transactions plummeting from 31% in 2016 to just 18% in 2022. The entire industry was forced to adapt. Some businesses scaled back their cash handling capabilities, creating unexpected weak points in the system. The shift led to a strange paradox. Fewer cash transactions overall, but still millions of dollars sitting in vaults. Companies like Garda-World continue to manage vast sums of money for various clients, even as the world around them changed. This new landscape created vulnerabilities that criminals were all too eager to exploit. One resident reported hearing mechanical sounds from the facility during the early hours of Easter. Was this the sound of the thieves making their final preparations? It's a chilling thought. As families were sitting down to Easter dinner, these criminals were literally laying the groundwork for their audacious plan. The pandemic also introduced new challenges for security personnel. With increased health protocols and potential staffing issues, maintaining the same level of vigilance became more difficult. This could have contributed to slower response times or gaps in security coverage that the thieves exploited. Moreover, the economic uncertainty caused by the pandemic may have made some employees more vulnerable to corruption or coercion. Financial stress could have played a role in turning an insider into an accomplice, providing crucial information for the thieves. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, it's clear this heist wasn't just about skilled criminals or inside information, it was about a perfect storm of circumstances that may never align again. The pandemic introduced changes in cash management, the economic pressures on the individuals, and the challenges of maintaining security during a global health crisis. All these factors came together to create a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a sobering reminder that even the most secure systems can be vulnerable when multiple factors align against them. But it also raises an intriguing question. If this truly was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, who had the skills, resources, and daring to seize it? As we peel back the layers of this criminal masterpiece, we're about to enter the shadowy world of professional thieves and organized crime. And what we're about to uncover will challenge everything you thought you knew about modern-day heists. Profiles in crime. Imagine a team where each member is a specialist in their field, handpicked for their unique skills and expertise. This isn't Hollywood fiction, it's the reality of the Gardaworld heist, where a group of highly skilled operatives executed a $30 million theft with surgical precision. Let's break down the specific roles that made this heist possible. First, there's the tech specialist, the person responsible for disabling state-of-the-art security systems without triggering alarms. This individual likely has an in-depth understanding of both hardware and software, capable of manipulating surveillance cameras and jamming communication signals. Then we have the safecracker, a master of both traditional and modern safe opening techniques. This person can work with everything from old-school combination locks to cutting-edge biometric systems. Their skills are crucial for accessing the vault where the cash was stored. The logistics expert is another key player. Their job? Moving millions in cash without leaving a trace. This involves detailed planning of routes, timing, and transportation methods to avoid detection. They need to anticipate potential roadblocks and have multiple contingency plans in place. Don't forget the inside man, someone with intimate knowledge of Gardaworld's facility layout and security protocols. This could be a current or former employee, or someone who's managed to infiltrate the company. Their information is invaluable for planning the heist and anticipating potential obstacles. The getaway driver isn't just someone who can handle the car. In a heist of this magnitude, they need to be an expert in evasive driving techniques, capable of losing any pursuit and navigating complex escape routes under extreme pressure. Overseeing it all is the mastermind, the architect of the entire operation. This person coordinates the team, manages resources, and makes split-second decisions when things don't go according to plan. They need a combination of leadership skills, strategic thinking, and nerves of steel. Based on the complexity of the Gardaworld heist, investigators believe we're looking at a team of at least 5 to 7 highly skilled individuals. Each person had a specific role, working together with clockwork precision. Jim McGuffrey, a security consultant, described the heist as a very professional job, emphasizing that such facilities typically have multiple layers of security. The fact that these thieves managed to bypass all of these layers speaks volumes about their skill level and preparation. As the investigation unfolds, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. This wasn't just another robbery. This was the work of a highly sophisticated professional crew. They didn't just steal $30 million. They demonstrated a level of expertise rarely seen in the world of high-stakes heists. But here's where things get really interesting. With such a massive score, what happens next? How do you move, hide, or spend $30 million in cash without getting caught? The challenges these thieves face now might be even greater than the heist itself, and that's where our story takes the next twist. Follow the money. $30 million in stolen cash sits before you. The heist was a success, but now comes the real challenge: keeping that money without getting caught. Welcome to the high-stakes world of criminal finance, where one misstep could cost you everything. Moving and spending $30 million in cash is a logistical nightmare. Every bill is a potential clue that could lead authorities straight to you. Banks and businesses are hyper-vigilant about large cash transactions, especially after a major robbery. Deposit or spend too much at once, and you might as well turn yourself in. So what options do criminals have? Some might consider classic tactics, like buying and reselling valuable items, or funneling money through legitimate businesses. But in today's digital age, these methods carry significant risks. Law enforcement isn't sitting idle. They're using advanced techniques to track stolen cash, including marked bills with unique identifiers. Spend one of these at your local store and you've essentially left a calling card for the police. Authorities also monitor financial transactions for suspicious patterns that could indicate money laundering. They collaborate with banks, businesses, and international partners to cast a wide net, hoping to catch any sign of the stolen funds entering the legitimate economy. History shows how challenging it can be to recover stolen cash. Take the Dunbar armored robbery of 1997. Despite years of investigation, a significant portion of the $19 million stolen was never found. It's a stark reminder of how quickly ill-gotten gains can vanish into the criminal underworld. As time passes, the trail grows colder, cash gets divided, moves across borders, or is hidden in unexpected places. Each day makes it exponentially harder for authorities to trace and recover the stolen funds. It's a constant race against time. Where might the $30 million from the Gardawild heist end up? Some could finance other criminal enterprises. A portion might be laundered through countries with lax financial regulations, and let's not discount the possibility that some is simply buried or hidden, waiting for the heat to die down. Imagine a scenario where the thieves split the money among several team members. One might attempt to slowly integrate their share into a small business over time. Another could try to smuggle their portion out of the country. A third might gamble their share away in underground betting rings, effectively laundering it through illegal channels. The challenges of handling stolen cash highlight a growing trend in the criminal world, a shift towards digital currencies and cybercrime. After all, why risk moving physical cash when you can hack a bank account from the comfort of your own home? As we look to the future of high-value security, one thing is clear. The landscape is changing. The Gardawild heist might be one of the last major cash robberies of our era, but as protection against physical theft improves, a new frontier of digital crime is emerging, and that's where our story takes its next turn. Lessons in security. The Gardawild heist didn't just rob a vault, it exposed fundamental vulnerabilities in the cash management industry. In its wake, companies are scrambling to overhaul their entire approach to high-value asset protection. Security experts are now pushing for a paradigm shift in how these facilities operate. It's not just about adding more cameras or thicker walls. The industry is exploring cutting-edge technologies that were once the stuff of science fiction. We're talking about AI-powered predictive systems that can anticipate security breaches before they happen, and advanced alarm systems that can detect and counteract jamming attempts in real time. But here's where things get really interesting. As companies rush to implement these high-tech solutions, they're facing a major challenge. How do you balance ironclad security with operational efficiency? It's a delicate tightrope to walk, and the stakes have never been higher. The ripple effects of this heist extend far beyond just security measures. Insurance companies are re-evaluating their policies, potentially leading to higher premiums and stricter requirements for coverage. The full extent of insurance coverage for the $30 million theft remains unclear, raising questions about financial liability in such extreme cases. Perhaps the most significant impact, however, is on public trust. When even specialized cash management companies can be breached, it shakes confidence in our entire financial system. Banks and other financial institutions are now under increased pressure to prove that they can truly protect their customers' assets. As the industry grapples with these challenges, one thing is clear. The landscape of high-value security is undergoing a radical transformation. Companies are being forced to think outside the box, exploring innovative solutions that go beyond traditional security measures. But here's the catch. As security evolves, so do the criminals. It's an endless game of cat and mouse, with each side constantly trying to outsmart the other. The Gardawild heist has raised the stakes, pushing both sides to new levels of innovation and determination. As we look to the future, the cash management industry stands at a crossroads. Will these new security measures be enough to prevent future heists? Or will criminals find new ways to circumvent even the most advanced systems? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. The battle for security in the digital age is far from over. Conclusion. As the dust settles on the Gardawild heist, we're left with a puzzle that continues to baffle investigators. This brazen theft exposed vulnerabilities in cash management security and left authorities scrambling for answers. The criminals' sophisticated methods, from jamming equipment to perfectly timed false alarms, have set a new bar for high-stakes robberies. The case remains open, with each new piece of evidence potentially holding the key to unraveling this criminal masterpiece. As the investigation unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the constant evolution in the world of high-security facilities and those who seek to breach them. What will be the long-term impact of this audacious heist? Will the perpetrators ever be brought to justice? As we await answers, one thing is clear. This captivating tale of cunning and daring is far from over, and its next chapter promises to be just as gripping.